Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Well, hello everyone. Hi Kyle.
Hello, how are we doing today?
Hey, it's always a great day. Look what I have to celebrate this wonderful
Oh,
first seminar in our group.
we're starting early.
Well, yes, you know what's the beauty about being the boss, Kyle? Is I
Tell
can
me.
drink anytime I want.
Well, you better slow down on that. It's a good
So
thing we
cheers.
have a full weekend seminar.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. Hi, everybody. Hope you are doing amazing. We are super excited to be here with you today. So use the chat function and let us know where you are chiming in from. And if you're on Facebook, I do have two screens. I will be watching the Facebook and this live Zoom meeting. So let us know where you're from.
Where are you
Okay,
coming
and
from
in the
today?
Yeah, and in the meantime, if this is the first time that you are with us live, hashtag JK. And in Facebook, if you're actually watching the replay, hashtag replay. We just want to know where you're at, and we want to welcome you to the group. So voila. So guys, feel free to let us know where you're from. Kyle, where are you sitting right now?
I am sitting in my office here at JK headquarters in Quebec, Saint-Émilie de l'Énergie, Quebec, Canada, proudly representing all us Canadians investing in US real estate.
Woohoo! Very cool, very cool. And well, I'm downstairs in the same place. We just didn't want any echo. So awesome. Let's welcome a couple people, Kyle. We have Adam. Adam, so nice to see you. Brian, Chris, Dom, Julien, Can, Connell, Mahela. We have Marianne, Mira, Mohammed, Nelson, Romel, Teresa, Trina. Hi, Trina. Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Wow, we have a lot of people with us on the call today, Kyle. It's super exciting.
I love it. I love it. And people are saying the chat's disabled. So if ever
Oh,
there's
is it?
interaction
Oh,
elements,
hold on.
just
My
you
bad.
can use the
See?
Q&A function, which is also open. And we'll see if we can solve that chat.
Let's see. It should be good, guys.
Oh, there it is. Hey, everyone.
That's
Oh,
me.
that's you.
So perfect. All right. So I'm going to try to fix that. There it is. Let's see. All right. Well, hopefully the chat function will not stay disabled forever. In the meantime, Kyle will get started now, and I'll work on making sure that that works.
Sounds great. Sounds very, very
Don't
exciting. Whoa. So welcome. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for taking the time today. Time, our most precious commodity. So this is, as Jenny mentioned, the very first time that we're doing the free blueprint seminar, okay? And this is a 3-part seminar. It's going to happen today, right now, tomorrow, same time, Wednesday, same time, and we're even going to have a bonus call on Thursday, and that's going to give you an opportunity to create some major interaction between yourself and JK, where you are going to be able to ask us anything you want about the material that we're going to deliver to you in this 3-part seminar. So it's going to be jam-packed with golden nuggets of information when it comes to US real estate investing. And whether that means for you investing in one vacation rental property in Florida that pays for itself and then some, or whether that means for you building a real estate portfolio, an empire. Either way, this is where you're going to want to be, because this is the opportunity to learn about the possibilities and also the perks of investing south of the border, and why this particular investing strategy may be the perfect investment strategy for you. So Janie and I are super, super proud to show you how we became financially free in just 3 years, so that you can start believing that it's possible for you too. In fact, today, because of US real estate and because of the knowledge we've acquired and these particular choices that we made, we have been able to not only help ourselves financially, but now that bubble has expanded to our very own parents. We've been able to significantly accelerate and enhance their retirements, our parents' retirements. And this is very, very exciting because this has happened in the last year or so. So all of our parents have significantly received the benefits of our investing in the States. So we are not here, though, to twist anybody's arm to convince you that this is the only way to get wealthy, but we know for a fact that if we were able to do it despite our age and despite our financial situation at the time when we got started, not to mention all those people around us, including our parents, telling us the reasons we shouldn't or couldn't, well, today they're so thankful that we didn't listen to them. So as Janie mentioned, we'd love to know where you're chiming in from. So hopefully I chewed up enough time and the chat is functioning. So
Yeah.
where are you all coming in from today?
You did. So we have Julien de Chambly, Quebec. Salut, Julien. We have Mohammed from London, Ontario. Trina from Hamilton, Ontario. Hi, Trina. We have Adam. Hold on. It's just skipping here. And guys, in the chat function, there's an option to send to host and panelists only or to everyone. So if you want everyone to see your questions or your, whatever you want to say, just make sure to change it to everyone. Otherwise, to host and panelists, and it will come to me and my team. We have Brian from Guelph. We have family in Guelph. Teresa from Hamilton. Hi, Teresa. Adam from the GTA area. Marianne from Blainville, Quebec. We're not very far, Marianne. We're almost neighbors. Canal from Roseville, California. We have some US peeps in the house. We have Lil Perrault, Mira. Hello, hello. Kan from Toronto. Wendy from the Ottawa Valley. Mahela from Orlando. We
Yes.
have Chris from I don't know how to say that. Minnedosa in MB. Amazing. Mira says hello. Amazing. We are so excited to have you here.
All right, wonderful, excellent. So thank you for being participative, if that's even a word. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Oh, we have Danielle from Ottawa as well. And guys,
Danielle's in the house. Hey, Danielle.
guys, I just want to say, guys, this is obviously a Zoom webinar, so we'll try to make it as fun as possible, and just make sure that you chime in and interact with us. That's how it's gonna be fun. All right, Kyle, it's all yours.
That's it. I love it. And for those of you who are more familiar with the JK community and so forth, you see a lot of me sometimes. But Janie is here and she is on point. So we've got the J and the K in the house for you today. So the chat is now open. So take full advantage. So today we'll be exploring those different opportunities, maybe new opportunities for you. And we're very, very excited to have you with us. So if investing in the US is really of interest to you, you're going to want to stay tuned for every part of this 3-part webinar, because we are going to be giving you an opportunity to learn more and do this business remotely from the comfort of your own home. And of course, there's only so much that we can do. And what we're going to do is about 30-45-minute chunks. That's how this is going to play out. And you're going to want to stay for each one of those chunks, because we've prepared some goodies for you along the way, some free, no fluff, high value resources that you can sink your teeth in right away. And as I mentioned, the very last call, which is going to be on Thursday, that bonus call for those who attend all 3 of the first seminar parts, are going to have that AMA call, that Ask Me Anything, or as we like to call the Ask Us Anything, Ask US Anything, for any lingering questions that you might still have or you'd like to voice live in person to us. So hopefully that's enough to get us started. And so, as you know, we like to cover our assets. And so we're going to start with the most boring part of the presentation, the CMA section, the Cover My Ass section, because as you'll come to know, we are not accountants. Janie and I, we're a lot of things, but accountants and CPAs and attorneys are not part of our pedigree. But we've got some pretty amazing ones on the team, though. So anything that you should hear today, you should vet and use those professionals to get those type of work, legal or accounting work done. but we are here to show you to the very best of our knowledge and our experience, and we know that you will love it and your mind will be blown. Now, we got the legalese out of the way, so let's jump right into it. Let's talk about why you are here today. You responded to the marketing, so I'm going to guess you're in one of the following 3 categories. You're either in category number 1, you're new to real estate investing or US real estate investing, and you're stagnating. You don't know what the next step or the next steps are. It's perfectly normal. We all start there. Or you're in bucket number 2. You're part of the group of people that did try and you failed a lot. And so you've got the experience. That's good. But now you want the results, and that's why you're here today. Amazing. And then there's category number 3. Those are the people that have already gotten the results. They've already jumped in and they're doing it and it's working, but they're always on the lookout for that next best thing. And that could be a perfectly valid reason to be here today. And we are going to deliver on that for you. And of course, there's the people who have nothing better to do on a Monday night. And you're welcome too, because regardless of what category you fall in, we are going to show you how to solve that current situation of yours and move you one step closer to your next level of freedom. But in order to do that, right, failing to plan is planning to fail. And so we have 3 roles for you. We have 3 things that we're going to ask you right up front. Are you ready? The first thing is we're going to ask you to pay attention, because when I start talking, I can start speeding up. I want to bring so much value. Janie and I want to bring so much value that we want to put as much as we can in the time we have together. And if you're distracted, if you're going to get a phone call, or if your kiddo or kiddos are going to come jumping and like hit you across the head, well, maybe this is the time to put them in the safekeeping of a consenting adult, and we can move on. We don't want you to miss something, because we're going to throw some golden nuggets at you that just very well may change the course of your investing career. So that's number 1. Number 2, be open-minded, because we are going to show you things that you never even thought or just kind of heard about, but didn't know really can be done, or the steps to take it. But they're going to be different. You want something different, you may have to be open to doing something different to get different results, right? The definition of insanity, we've heard it, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And so that's sorry, I got a pop up there. Someone wants control. I think it's my control freak wife and business partner who wants my remote control. And then 3, the third reason, the third thing we're going to ask you to do today is, if this is in line and you're super excited and you're pumped, well, seize the opportunity. You know, there's no amount of knowledge by itself that will get you the results you want. You need knowledge and you need to apply it. You need applied knowledge, and you need to shoot at the net if you intend to score a goal. So that's 1, 2, 3. I promise that we're going to have fun. We're going to learn a ton. But our big promise here is that we will reveal to you why US real estate can be the perfect profit and cash flow opportunity for Canadians, or for out of state, out of country investors investing into the US, along with, of course, the first steps on how to get there. So hopefully that's exciting for you. That's on your side. That's what we're asking you to do. On our side, we're going to show you how to find, fund, rent, or sell in the US right now for a profit and cash flow. We want to show you how to do that at a 4, 8, or maybe even higher value multiple compared to your current Canadian real estate market, by identifying which strategies to use right now as a Canadian or out-of-state investor. And the third thing we want to do is we want to show you that simple process of buying in the US, including the biggest traps that Canadians and foreign nationals fall into that are so easy to avoid if you just know what to look out for, especially when it has to do with legal, entity structure, asset protection, and accounting. So basically, as I said, we want to blow your mind just a little bit. And for those of you, let's address the elephant in the room right now. What's in it for us? right? What's in it for Janie and myself to come here and give you all this beautiful training and knowledge for free? Well, one, real estate's been good to us. And this, amongst so many other things that we do to help our fellow compatriots, excel and become financially free themselves, is an opportunity for us to give back on a very large scale. That's reason number one. Reason number two is that we are using our natural gifts and talents. In my case, you'll get to know teaching, building systems, implementing systems, and building community, right? These are really our strong suits, Janie and myself, coming from our backgrounds of teaching and nursing, which we're going to come to know about in just a little bit. And of course, reason number three, we're not going to hide it. We are also looking to selfishly grow our businesses actually, and getting you to your goals faster just helps everyone do that faster. As one of our mentors would say, we do this for me, for you, and for us. And so let's get crystal clear right from the get-go of what we are not here to do, okay? We are not here to promise you or guarantee that you will get rich quick. But, and we've been doing this for quite some years now, we are going to show you what has worked for us, what has significantly accelerated our investment portfolio and cash flow, net worth growing activities. So we want to show you how to get much wealthier, much faster. But to categorize it, get rich quick, you're in the wrong room. We are not here also to tell you that Canadian real estate is bad. We own some Canadian real estate, and we are actively pursuing some Canadian real estate deals as well. But we had our reasons to go to the US, especially when we first started real estate. We found that Canadian real estate was too expensive, really difficult to get some cash flow. The laws favor the tenants more than the owners or the landlords. We found that financing is either very, very rigid with traditional banks or very expensive in the private lending space in Canada. So we're not saying that it's bad. We're just saying it wasn't for us when we got started, and our story is our story, and we're sticking to it. And the final thing that we're not here to do is encourage a competitive mindset. There is so much real estate, there's so much opportunity, and we have learned over the years that working together, you get a much larger piece of the pie than if everyone is pulling the blanket on their side, taking from one to grow yourself. It is not a sustainable business model, and honestly, it's a very stressful one as well. So we are here to encourage a cooperative mindset. And so much of what we've built resonates, I think, very, very strongly, as you'll come to see, I'm sure. So up to this point, you're probably chock full of questions. And as I mentioned, we've been doing this for a while, teaching Canadians and foreign nationals how to invest in the US. And when someone is newer or new to this, they have questions. But really, if you boil down those questions, they come out to about 5, 6 questions that people always ask about investing in the US. And we're going to answer every single one of those questions today. And we have framed them in a myth format, meaning these are the myths, these are the limiting beliefs that are holding so many potential US investors back. And we're going to show them that these are all just happening in the most precious real estate you already own, the 3-4 inches between your ears. And we're going to show you that these are just words, myths, limiting beliefs. And if you get rid of these, you are a huge step forward towards achieving your dreams and goals. So one, you might think that you have to be an American to invest in the US, or that you need a ton of years of experience before developing a new market cross-border. You might think that there's no financing for Canadians, or even if there was financing, you need credit, good credit, excellent credit, US credit. You might think that there's just no more deals, right? The deals happened in 2004 and 2008, but there haven't been any deals in years. You might be thinking that. Or that, okay, it's all fine and dandy, Kyle. but I need money to invest. I need a lot of money actually to invest. And so for one or all of these reasons, you're holding yourself back. So you're likely very curious right now, but something is holding you back. Henry Ford says it so well. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that applies so well to today's presentation and this entire free seminar series. So we're gonna, in just a moment, we're gonna cover all these myths. But before that, for those of you who are brand new to JK here and have only seen us once or it's the very first time, I'd like to take a little moment because you might be asking yourself, scratching your head, why in the world is JK, right? JK's Real Estate Partners with Janie and Kyle. Why are these the people I should be learning this from? It's a really important question, so let's start there. So I'd like to firstly introduce my lovely wife and partner, our courageous leader, Janie Grenier. Now, if you haven't already met Janie, I want you to pull out your bucket list and add it to that list. Meet Janie Grenier. It should be on everyone's bucket list. She's the type of person that really lights up a room. She is a visionary. She sees what could be where other people like myself don't particularly have the gift of sight when it comes to human potential, when it comes to business development, opportunity creation, and so forth. It is because of Janie that you are here today. It is because of Janie that I am here today. It's because of her that we have been helping so many people achieve the lifestyle they deserve and give back to our loved ones in such a big way at such a young age. So I blame her for everything. She is the spark to this engine. And for that, I'm very proud to say she is president, CEO of JK's Real Estate Partners and the over a dozen companies that we've founded over the years. And she bought her first property at the age of 19 years old in Canada, and by the age of 30 had over 100 units of rental real estate under her belt. She believes in strategic relationships and win-win wins for everyone. She loves to travel, and we've been able to include that in our businesses as well. Now, our businesses travel us, and we travel quite a bit. Even throughout COVID, we had quite the time in our traveling. So, Janie, how's that? Sound about right?
Yes, I just realized that with the remote control, I had no more access to my computer. So it's all good.
We're good now?
It's all good. Yes.
All right, fantastic. And then there's moi. Janie, would you like to say a couple words on me, or you want me to take this on? Talking about myself is always a little weird, and you're on the call here, so I figure.
Right. Well, absolutely. So Kyle Dooland, he's my husband. He's my business partner. He's the president and the vice president and COO, CFO of most of our companies, of all our companies, actually CFO. And what's really cool about Kyle is that he became financially free at the age of 27. He was still doing his master's degree full-time at Concordia University. He was teaching as a TA for Concordia University at the time. And he basically never had a job in his life because he never had to, which is really, really cool. Kyle loves the idea of investing in properties with other people's money. In fact, he's never used any of his own money, including his very first one where he bought into mine with student, not debt, but student loans and bursaries. So he's been using other people's money for years and years and years, which is really cool. Kyle is an optimizer and a teacher. He's really good at what he does. And I'm very proud of what you do, Kyle, for me and for the community. And you say that you wouldn't be here without me, and vice versa. I wouldn't be here without you. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Oh gosh, shucks. Thank you so much, Janie. That pretty much wraps it up. So let's move on to the meat and potatoes here. We've got some myths to bust. So first myth that I'd like to get out of the way is if you think you have to be an American to invest in the US, you would be dead wrong. We have built, Janie and I, an entire community called the Now for Tomorrow community, specifically for the purpose of showing people who are Canadian or out of the US, that's showing them that they can invest in the US. This community is over 10,000 members strong now. So if you haven't already found your way to Facebook, this is the time to do it, at Now for Tomorrow Club, you can find us there. But more than that, right? Because we might just have 10,000 friends and family members and we created a group, right? But here's some hard numbers. Last year, in 2021, over $50 billion of real estate was purchased by foreign national, meaning purchased by non-Americans. 50 billion, that's a B, not an M, right? Just last year. And to put that into perspective for you, Canadians not only can invest in the US, they love investing and buying US real estate. So even though Canadians represent a very small portion of non-Americans in the world, in fact, about 0.5% of the world's non-American population is Canadian, we're buying up 8% of the real estate purchased by non-Americans. So we got 0.5% buying up 8%. We're buying 16 times more than our ratio in terms of population size. Canada is the #1 foreign buyer in the US, buying 8%, followed by Mexico at 7%, China at 6%, India at 4%, and then it goes on, United Kingdom, and so on. So I bet you didn't know that you loved buying US real estate right out the gate. So that's myth #1 busted. Myth #2. You may think that you need years of experience before developing a new market, crossing the border, and investing in the US. Well, that is entirely false. And take myself as an example. I only bought half of one deal in Canada, like Janie was mentioning, half of one that she already owned, before jumping into the US. I was 25 years old. I bought that first property, and from that time on, it had only been the US for over 5 years before we bought, over 7 years actually, before we bought another one back in Canada. So I did it, you can do it. But more than that, I'm going to say not only do you not need years of experience, you don't have the time, because time is our most precious commodity, remember? You don't have the time to learn by trial and error in Canada, try to figure it out, and then trying to transpose that in the US. Anyways, there's different strategies and there's different investing models when you're dealing in the US anyways, and that's where we're coming in to show you. Have you ever heard of these 3 letters, OPM, right? Not opium, okay, OPM. And you might have heard it under OPE as well. It stands for other people's mistakes and other people's experiences. That's how you want to learn and accelerate those years of experience you may or may not have into minutes and months by having coaches and mentors and role models to follow so that you can avoid the major mistakes and get to the results much faster. We've had many mentors along the way. Janie was my first mentor because even though I bought into half of my first property with her, it was her third already. And she had done a ton of mistakes, and she admits it herself, on the first properties. And I jumped in that we never made the same mistake she did on the first 3 really. And then from there, we continued with more coaches and mentors along the way. So other people's mistakes, other people's experiences. And that's why Janie and I still have coaches and mentors to this day. And we are approaching now, full transparency, over $250,000 spent in coaching and trainings because we know, look, I only have a couple gray hairs so far, and we've got what people with full heads of gray hair haven't been able to achieve over their lifetime. So is it worth the cost to speed the process up? For you to decide, it is most definitely worth it for us. So there is a huge difference here between cost and value. Never lose sight of that. Speaking of money, okay, there is no lack of capital for great deals. And this is the third myth that we wanted to talk to you about today. You may think, or people might have told you, you can't get financing for properties in the US because you're Canadian or you're Australian or whatever it might be. Well, that's just not true. You have to know where to go. If you just walked into any random old US bank and you started asking for financing, well, first of all, if you just walked into a US bank, I guarantee it's going to hurt because they're made out of brick and wood, just like we have here. But what I'm saying is if you open the door and you walk into the bank, they're going to look at you funny if you start asking for financing on your mortgages, right? They're going to look at you like an alien. And what's really interesting is that you are, right? On financial forms, tax and finance and banks and so forth, you have to check off a box. Most likely 99% of the people on the call today have to check off a box that say, I'm a non-resident alien, right? And what do Americans love doing with aliens? Do you know about Area 51, Area 52? Well, it's not a very pleasant experience for the alien. So what I'm saying here is that there are lending institutions, there are banks that are pleasant for foreign nationals, but most of them that you cross just on the street, the big Chase banks, Chase isn't all that bad, but a lot of those big US banks are not very pleasant for Canadians. So we have to know where to go. And I'm telling you, there is no lack of capital for great deals. So for those of you who don't know, we do host an incredible training called the US Real Estate Investing Blueprint, investing from a solid foundation. And I do notice that a couple of you here in the room have already attended our blueprint. So hi guys, nice to have you back. And in the blueprint, and you can chime in the chat if you agree with this, we discuss some financing options at length and even bring to you one of our superstar brokers to explain the ins and the outs of lending in the US. So if that's something holding you back, make sure to check out the blueprint. This is a pure fantasy myth that you might have had in your mind, and it is gone. Because what is the value? What is the potential that's now available to you if you had lenders ready to finance your deals on a silver platter? What if that was handed to you in the process? Might change a thing or two about how you go about investing, would it not? So there's lenders, but you may not have good credit. You may not have any US credit. You may not even have good financials or financial statements or reports. You might not have any of that. Now, here's the real fun part. You don't need to, okay? You do not need good or US credit to get that financing that I'm talking about. If you have good credit, great credit, excellent financials, fantastic, and will help you out. You will get better rates and terms, but it's not required to get financing and to get you started. Most people who get started investing in the US in our community start with nothing. No credit. It's not even bad credit, right? They start with a black screen. There is no credit on the board. There's no blip on the radar. So there's a way to get started and slowly build that over time. So yes, having solid financials helps, but it's not required. Let us show you how, basically. So you may have heard through the marketing, through pictures, through attending some of our deal reveals or whatever it might have been, you might have heard that there's some differences between US and Canadian real estate. And you may have come across this particular example or something similar where these are two duplexes here, right? These are two real examples. They're starting to get a little dated now, but nonetheless, you can still find, I think, a duplex in Montreal for $750,000, and you can still find a duplex in Cleveland for $90,000. Okay, so these are real examples that were taken from the MLS at the same exact time when we created this example. Now, put the price tag aside just for a moment, and let's dive one step deeper. How are these two duplexes different from the point of view of an investor? If you wanted to acquire one of these duplexes, you would put in an offer, right? Would that offer be below, at, or above the listing price to get a chance to buy these properties, right? And would the final purchase price be higher, at, or lower than the listing price, right? In one of these two markets, I'll let you guess which one, negotiations go down from the listing price, and in the other one, often they go up from the listing price. That is a major difference in how you can posture yourself in your negotiations and how and how often you place offers on potential deals. Okay, huge difference. Another big difference is, of course, if you're paying 8 times more for a duplex that's generating almost the same amount of gross income, you can doubt that the cash flow after all expenses and the debt service is going to be different on these two properties as well, right? So, are there no more deals in the US? Really? I mean, I find it to be really the silliest thing when people say there's no more deals. The deals were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but there's none now, okay? Just the silliest thing. The entire Canadian population fits in the state of California, okay? There are more cash flowing rental properties in the US, to our knowledge, than anywhere else on the planet, right? We like to focus in Central Florida for short-term rentals, and in the Midwest, like Ohio and Michigan, for our long-term rentals and some short-term rentals as well. And did you know that in Ohio alone, there are 5 million rental properties, right? And the average price of a property, a residential property in Ohio, is about $150,000, $170,000. In Canada, we're over $500,000 on average as it stands. The most expensive residential property that we purchased in the Midwest to date was $80,000, the most expensive one, all right? And that was intended to be a flip, right? We're going to put in an extra 50 and sell it for the spread. So the US is the most target rich area that we've found to do what we are doing, which is profit and cash flow. And the cherry on top of this is that we believe, and we're starting to see it now, right on the cusp of a massive window of opportunity. And we're going to be talking about this window of opportunity in part 3 of this Blueprint series. And some of you who are in the market right now know what I'm talking about. The market is cooling down. We have gone through a very long bull market through COVID in Canada and even in the US. And so we had to do different type of strategies to make it work. But when we start hitting the bear market, when the market starts cooling off, when sellers become more motivated to offload their properties because of fear, because of whatever reasons they might have in their lives at that point, we can come in, seize the opportunity, give them what they want, and receiving, of course, what we want as well. So there is a window of opportunity. It has already started to open. We've been predicting this for over 18 months. So for those of you who've been following, I've been saying it, we've been saying it, and now it is here. So it's super, super exciting. There are currently more deals than you can ever handle yourself. And the window, the door is opening, and that floodgate we're at the beginning of it. So what is the difference really between these two duplexes, right? Well, we think it's pretty obvious. Right out the gate, for a fraction of the price, it's a no-brainer that it can be a fantastic strategy for a Canadian or for an out-of-state investor to jump into certain markets in the US, because the bigger point here is the risk versus reward. If you're paying less and making more, it sounds like a better, less risky investment to me. How about you, right? We want to show you how, and I want you to write this down, how you can buy real estate in the US for, in some cases, 4 or 8 or higher value and cash flow compared to what you can buy in your current real estate market. In other words, I'm saying, when you know what you're doing, I'm saying that you need 80% less money to get the same or greater cash flow and investing opportunities. Just like you see here with our most recent Magical Muggles mansion in Florida, generating, this is a conservative 150. We hope to be over $200,000 US on this one single family alone. So the unicorn property in Canada, it cash flows Ooh, like everyone, wow, right? In the US, we want to show you that cash flow is as rare as a two-horned unicorn. All right, just like you see on the screen here. So, cash flow on every single deal you buy. It is not, I really hope it would be great if. It must cash flow, and it must cash flow at a certain level to even be considered as an opportunity for investing. If you want the JK stamp of approval, you're going to learn about that tomorrow on what that really means and what type of standards you should have in your real estate investing. So we got one last myth that we need to bust here. Oh my God, Kyle, this is so amazing. This is the time to jump in. I want to do it. I don't have any money. Well, we've been waiting for you because you don't need to, right? You can put in the sweat equity rather than the cash equity because we have, through all of our own trainings and our experiences and our coaching and everything that we've been doing for the last 10 years in real estate, we have discovered 19 ways for you to profit in US real estate, regardless of the market cycle, without touching any of your liquidity. So, if that's not exciting to you, I don't know what is. JK is ready to show you some tricks and strategies for Canadians, out-of-state investors to get started fast, skip years of trial and error, and set yourself up to create deal after deal after deal. So hopefully now the stage has been set, and now that those myths and those limiting beliefs are out of the way, are you ready to jump in? What might that first year investing in the US look like? We'd like to maybe share a little story, Janie. I know I'm a little over time already, and I tried to talk faster. I wasn't able to get it all in, but maybe it'd be good for them to get a sense of your story on how you got started.
Don't wait for.
Whoa, there's music on that slide. And so, would you like to maybe share a couple minutes?
Absolutely. And in the 19 ways to profit in US real estate, one of the ways, Kyle, that you did not go over is how we bought the last property in Florida using, guys, our own RRSPs. And we're going to go into that deeply in the blueprint. So that's in 2 weeks. But we were able to use our own RRSPs into this wonderful deal. And this is the first time any Canadian has been able to do that, unlocking their RSPs to invest in the US. And so we're going to be talking about that more in details, but that was so exciting when I thought that my RSPs were locked in forever. That's exciting. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about a story that basically happened to me, and you may relate to that. Is basically when I was younger, I was interested in real estate. I've always been interested in real estate. I bought my first property, I was 19. I bought my third property, I was 24, I believe. And then I realized that I wanted to buy one property every 5 years or so, have about 6 or 7 under my belt by the time I was 60, 55, 60. At that point, I would have been able to sell off my first property and buy myself an RV, live off the cash flow of the other properties as they got paid off, and basically have, an okay retirement. Now, obviously, I didn't know the secret sauce. I didn't know that investing in US real estate would be, the epiphany with the word, Kyle. Yeah. Epiphany of, cash flow. When
the epitome.
There you go. Epitome. Thank you. And so basically, as I was investing in real estate, in Canadian real estate, like my first, the average properties at the time, that was almost 10 years ago, in Pembroke, Ontario, that's where my properties are, were about $200,000, $250,000. Obviously, that was a vacation rental or a second house. It was a rental property, so I had to put down 20%. Now, 20% of 250,000 is a lot of money. And now in those markets, in Montreal, in Toronto, in Vancouver, in Ottawa, and all those hot markets, property values are just incredibly expensive. So 20% when you want to invest in a rental property, it's now hundreds of thousands of dollars. But at the time when the property values were about that 200,000, 250, I still had to put down 20%. So my plan as a nurse was to work, and to work really hard, put that money aside to basically be able to buy a property with that down payment, to have that down payment every 5 years. So that was the plan. And then I was part of some real estate groups in Montreal. So at one point I'm on Facebook and I basically got an ad saying, hey, do you want to learn about US real estate? So Kyle and I, we both signed up. I kind of forced Kyle into it. He didn't know about it. So I got him to come over and we learned about real estate in the US. And the guy that was there presenting, he was teaching us about buying properties at $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, and huge cash flow compared to the purchase price. And I just couldn't believe my ears, literally. And in today's market, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, but in today's market, you can still find those properties, no problem, if you go to the right places. And so when we first got started in the US, we bought our first property. It's still hard to believe, but guys, we bought that first property and it's not a ton of shit with a, you know, with the chimney on top. It's a nice property. We bought it for $9,000, $9,000, $9,000, okay, US. And it obviously needed work, but it was 1,800 square foot. It had 3 bedrooms, a sunroom, 2 bathrooms, 2 living rooms in a beautiful suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. And we put in $30,000 into it. Now, those of you who has been following us for a while know that $39,000 was what we had left after investing in coaching and mentorship. So $39,000 was basically all we had, with a little bit of a buffer on the side, and we made it happen. So $9,000 was the purchase price. $30,000 was the renovation. 3 months later, the renovations were completed. We had hired a contractor. The renovations were completed, and in the US, you can put a mortgage, you can refinance based on the value that it is now, so the after repair value. And at the time when we had it appraised, I think it was like $69,000 or $72,000. So we were able to get 65% off of, say, the $70,000, and we got back about $46,000 in our bank account, tax-free. So that's $46,000. If you want to do the math with me, that's $46,000 minus $39,000 is what was invested. The rest came to HIP National Bank right here in our pockets, tax-free. So we actually got paid to buy that very first US property. Now, with a $46,000 mortgage on 30 years fixed, amortized, no terms, 30 years fixed, it was a decent rate. We had like a mortgage of about what, Kyle, like $300 a month, something like that?
Yeah, $225, yeah.
Right. So our tenants at the time would pay $1,200. It was a subsidized tenant, which means the government was paying us to have that tenant in the house. They were paying us directly in our bank account, and $1,200 was the monthly rent. And then basically all the expenses. We were cash flowing over $500 US a month from that one property, which was incredible. So that was the first purchase. Now, obviously, if you see that, you can see that you can do that over and over and over again. We recycle that same $39,000 over and over and over. Second property, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, but $20,000, $25,000. And last week we were at Trina's house, and she still sees properties at that price. So they still exist in today's market. You just need to know where to buy. And now, just to go back to that first property that we still own, we've been able to refinance that property a couple of times, pull out some equity because obviously the market went up. And more than that, we turned it into a short-term rental in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's making way above $3,000 every single month, which is incredible. So people come from all over the world. Why Cleveland? I mean, there was a ping pong tournament. There was some yo-yo tournaments a couple of years ago. People travel because people travel. And I will ask you to not question that. I ask you to not sign up to that class because people do what people do. And people come to Ohio. People come to Cleveland. And so we make $2,500, $3,000 a month on this same short-term rental that we paid cash for it, refinanced, got all our money back, got paid to actually buy it, had no money left in the deal. We had a cash flowing tenant, so positive cash flow. And then since then have turned it into a short-term rental. It's our main property when we go to Cleveland, and it's a wonderful place to have. It's a couple of minutes from Lake Erie. It's beautiful and we love it. So, that's amazing. And one thing that we like about the Midwest, if you're looking to maybe build a portfolio, obviously we love Florida as well, but the Midwest, what's nice is you can buy a property, and that's a nugget of information for you. You can buy a property and we'll teach you how to calculate your returns on investment and make sure that that's a sane investment, but buy based on the long-term numbers. And if you want to turn it into a short-term rental, you can do that. And at any point, if you want to revert it back to a long-term rental, you can do that. And your cap rate, your cash flow will be incredible. So we have so many options in the US compared to Canada, I find anyways. So that's why we like it. And I hope this story resonated with you a little bit, but that's one of the reasons why we decided to go finally in the US years ago. And that my 5-year plan, my 25-year plan of buying one property every 5 years, basically in less than 3 years, we retired and we had a combined age of 57 and we were making well over what we were making a month. And we got 42 doors in that first 3 years of investing in the US. And if that's not sexy, not exciting for you, I don't know what is. I will cheers to that, my friends, because we are still doing it. We love it. And we are teaching you how to do that, because if it's exciting, come tomorrow. We're going to talk to you about more opportunities in the US and it's going to be great. So voila, guys, I hope you have a beautiful night. Thank you, Kyle, for this presentation. And thank you for your patience. It was a little longer than planned, but the introduction, we're not going to have that tomorrow, no worries. So thank you for being an amazing crowd. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time, same place. And if you want to watch the replay, it will be in the guide section of the Facebook group. Any parting words, Kyle?
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
All right.
Look
All
forward
right.
to
Well,
seeing you tomorrow we're going to
yeah.
be having a ton of golden nuggets, specific strategies that Canadians can use investing in the US. So we're going to go a little bit more technical, maybe something more concrete, but this I think lays the foundation for everything that is going to be happening in the next couple of days. So have yourselves a most wonderful evening. Cheers.
Cheers. And until next time, do now for tomorrow. Talk to you tomorrow, guys. Take care. Bye.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
All right. Cheers. Bye, everyone. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.